for today, which is emotional crisis. It is an overwhelm of emotions on a negative scale. It is the state of emotional, psychological, and mental imbalance. There are a few examples of emotional crisis and emotional states of imbalances that have become popular in the past few years. They have received a lot of attention because they are quite common. These include depression, anxiety, panic attacks, sleep disorders. But then there are also a few that may not have received as much attention, such as uncontrollable anger. You know how it is where they say, oh, people need to go to anger management classes. It's a real thing. It's a real emotional disorder. Other disorders that cause emotional crisis include addictions, hyperactivity, more examples I'm giving you, withdrawal, bipolar disorders, body dysmorphic disorders. That's when you feel a certain type of way about your body image. It also includes self-sabotaging and injurious behaviors. So some of these things may be you can help some of these things, or you can solve some of these things on your own through self-help. Some of them you will need to seek a professional. And later on in the coming weeks, we may group some of these disorders together and then talk about them, how you can go ahead to help yourself, how you can move forward also by asking other people for help or seeking professional help from licensed psychologists, psychotherapists, and mental health specialists. So I'm wondering if I've spoken about all the different examples of emotional disorders and crisis. I believe I have. There's also something called withdrawal, where you may withdraw from your normal physical activities and performance and interaction with friends and family. That's also an example of you being in a state of an emotional crisis. Okay, so here are a few ways. Today's talk is going to be very brief, but I know that they have nuggets, or it will include nuggets that will help you. Here are a few ways that you can avoid emotional crisis. We'll start with the basic of emotional health, which I have said maybe about two or three other sessions, but we'll repeat it again. It's a process it's a state of being highly alert, highly mindful. It's a state of keen self-awareness. Here, it's the number one way, because when you are keenly self-aware, you are observant, you know, and you want to know more about the emotions and the thoughts that are running through your mind. So you feel one type of way, maybe you feel you're in a state of frustration. Someone who practices mindfulness and is keenly self-aware will want to know why, will want to observe, when do I feel these? How often do I feel this feeling? In what situations do I feel this feeling? Maybe if you feel anxious, worried about something, you're practicing mindfulness, you will want to know, what exactly am I scared of or worried about? What am I fretting about the outcome? Is it something that I can change? Is it something that I can affect? It's very, very important to be extremely self-aware. You also want to know these thoughts, where are they coming from? When do I have them? Is there any way that I can remedy them? We discussed, I believe it was a content that we discussed a few days ago, and it was about how to counter a thought with another thought. You take a thought, you think about it, you say to yourself, hi, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining. We've gone far, but I trust that you will be able to catch the replay. It's available between now and 24 hours, as well as on Facebook Live. forever, actually. So, but we had just started speaking about the ways to avoid emotional crisis. And the first one is keen mindfulness and self-awareness. I know that it's something that we have spoken about a few other times in other sessions, but it's the basics, because if you're able to catch yourself, catch your thoughts when you're thinking about something, observe, figure out or dig deeper to know what is causing that thought, where did it come from, how often does it come, what surrounds it, and then what can I do to remedy it or to counteract it, then you're able to resist. You're able to, how do you put it? The word is counter, really. Take a thought, the thought that you're feeling, and counter it with another thought. Um, I so that's so the basics of it is that you need to be extremely self-aware, and alert to your thoughts and how you are feeling. That helps you to be as observant as possible and to avoid an emotional crisis. The second thing would be to resist isolation and secrecy. We've heard so many things about how when people seclude themselves, then they are more susceptible to depressive thoughts. They grow in anxiety. If they are growing in some form of addiction of some sort, then it becomes worse and worse. If they're having an eating disorder, maybe they are not eating well or they are eating too much. When they keep to themselves and it's all secret and no one else knows, then nobody can help them. So the number 2 point is resist isolation and secrecy. Bad things grow in the dark, so it's extremely important that as long as you're keenly mindful of something, you now do your best to not seclude yourself from other people. You will need to increase your interaction with others, your community. The third thing would be for you to rise higher than your 2-year-old self. That is extremely important, and so I'm saying it with every sense of understanding and judgment. There is a 2-year-old, or I should actually say there is about a 7 to 8-year-old that is in every one of us. We want our way. We always want to get our way. We always want to be right all the time. We want to be more, to be acknowledged above other people. We are selfish innately. That 7 or 8-year-old is still lives in us and is basically selfish. We always need to rise above our 7-year-old self. Control, it's extremely important. So the point of rising above your 7-year-old self is you practice more self-control. You are intentional, or you should be intentional about doing things that are a form of delayed gratification. So as an example, if you want to practice rising higher above your 7-year-old self, find out, or conduct an experiment with yourself. How much control do you have over your lesser urges or your basic urges to eat, to sleep? Can you resist? Can you go on a fast? Can you, not even a diet, but can you, for example, fast off something, fast off a type of thing that seems to be addictive to you? It could be food, a certain type of food. It could be social media. It could be TV. It could be some form of activity that you find that is maybe taking a bit of your time or not. Yeah, it's taking a bit of your time. If you decide that you want to fast or something, it's just a great way to practice self-control and discipline. So the more you do that, you're able to be more, the word is controlled. And for someone that is doing their best to avoid an emotional crisis, to prevent it before it even looks like it's about to start, you can practice rising above your 7-year-old self by exhibiting control and maturity. We had spoken about developing emotional maturity in a previous live session, and we spoke about the fact that it's not every time that you need to express yourself vocally or externally. You could express yourself. Hello, Adedayami, thank you very much for joining. You can express yourself by journaling. You can speak to somebody that is trusted. You don't always have to go and blab and tell everyone how you're feeling or what you're going through. You also don't have to react. You respond. That is, you deliberately choose your words or the way you behave in response to something, and maybe some form of stimulus or some form of way that somebody else behaves to you. You respond. It's different from reacting, which is spontaneous, which is uncontrolled. All these are ways of rising higher than your 2-year-old self. For those that are just joining us, I want to encourage you to catch the replay within the next 24 hours. We did get a lot of feedback, and one of the points that we received was, the feedback taking us back to the beginning, especially for those that are catching the replay, may be monotonous. So anyway, we're just going to go straight ahead, and for those that are just joining, please catch the replay. The number 4 point would be for you to embrace accountability. There would be people in your life that are allowed to speak into your life. It's definitely not everybody. It could be your spouse, it could be a mentor, it could be a coach. But the point is for you to embrace accountability. It's extremely important for you to have somebody that you look up to, somebody that you respect, someone that you are able to give feedback to and say, I'm doing good in this aspect. I'm not doing so good in this aspect. I was able to fast today till 6 o'clock, or no, I wasn't able to fast today till 3 o'clock, but I will make an effort tomorrow, or I will make an effort next week to fast, up till the time that I said that I would. I'm using fast as an example because we spoke about rising above or rising higher than your 7-year-old self, exhibiting control and maturity. And one of those ways was to see how you can, and I use the word fast in a loose manner, meaning stay off things that could be wasting your time, could be dragging you down. As an example, we said it could be food, it could be sleep, it could be social media, it could be some form of time management technique. But the point is to embrace accountability. Have somebody in your life that you are reporting to, or laying yourself in front of and saying, I'm trying to do this, help me, keep me accountable, push me when I need to be pushed, correct me when I need to be corrected. That is the number 4 point, or the 4th way of avoiding an emotional crisis. Thank you to Fumi that just joined. I'm hoping that you will be able to catch the replay. The number 5 point would be for you to seek, open up, and affirm a higher truth daily. Irrespective of your religious view, whatever it is that you do believe, you need to seek that and open up and affirm a higher truth every day. For Christians, they read the Bible. They open up to the truth of the Bible, or the words of the Bible, and they affirm it to themselves. There are different confessions, affirmations, knowing a truth about who you are and what you are here to do and how special you are. Because truth be told, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or an atheist, we are over 6 billion people in the world, and science even has proven that not one person's fingerprint is alike. That shows immediately, that proves that each person is completely different. Each person is completely special and unique in the sight of the Creator. Those are the kind of truths that you can seek, open up to, and affirm every day to yourself. It has a way of impacting on your beliefs and impacting on your attitudes as well as your actions. It will help you to believe in yourself so much more. And those are the things that help to prevent an emotional crisis. So if anyone could tell me, maybe if they, now I'm asking for feedback from those that are here, if you have a set of confessions or a set of things that you affirm, daily affirmations to yourself, and how often do you do it? Is it every morning? Is it twice a day? Tell me, what truth do you seek, open up to, and affirm every day? I would love to hear from you guys. While I'm expecting your replies, number 6, that is the sixth point in avoiding emotional crisis would be for you to maintain good physical health. It goes hand in hand in the sense that it is like a chicken and egg situation, but it's not a complete bulletproof cycle. That is, I'm not saying that if you are in perfect physical health, you will not experience any form of emotional crisis. That's not what I'm saying. But the likelihood, if you maintain good physical health and fitness every day, every 2 days, you eat right, you exercise right, you check up with the doctor, you're checking on your organs, your eyesight, your dental health, all of that, you are maintaining. Hi to me, Brizzo, thank you so much for joining. Please catch the replay because we have gone really far, but I will do a recap at the end of the entire video, a short one. So I was saying that maintain the number 6 point is maintain good physical health, and I said that it's not an automatic remedy. I'm not saying that perfectly if you maintain good physical health, you will not experience an emotional crisis. That's not true. But the likelihood of, if you are keeping fit daily, if you are exercising, which brings up the kind of more endorphins that are required to keep your emotions in tip-top shape, if you are experiencing, or how do I put it, if you are warming up, if you are keeping active, if you are interacting with other people, which is part of maintaining good physical health, if you are eating right, if you are getting all your vitamins and minerals, they do add up to good emotional health, and it's just one of the ways basically of avoiding an emotional crisis. I find that, as a personal example, I find that there are some certain types of foods that I eat at a certain time of the month that just get me down. They just make me dip in a way. And most of the time I'm looking for a quick fix or a sugar high, but I know that that is also not good for me. It makes me, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, but even if it was not, okay, let me just finish my point, then I'll speak to what Fumi just said right now. She said that, oh, I just also want to check. I'm also live on Facebook, so I'm checking to see if there are any comments. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay. We're good for now on Facebook. So I was saying, thank you for joining. I was saying that for me, I particularly observe that there are some foods I take at certain times that, make me dip in my emotions, keep me down, make me feel sort of tired and depressed. They could be heavy carbohydrates, but also sometimes when I now take sugar, it's like I'm like on a seesaw, So the point is, you need to be, we've spoken about it at the very beginning. You need to be very mindful, very self-aware and alert, and so you know what type of foods help you feel better about yourself, what is actually healthy for you, because hey, a bowl of ice cream make you feel better, but it may not also be good for you, right? So maintain good physical health. It's very, very important for your overall well-being, and it helps you when you're trying to avoid an emotional crisis. Number 7 would be for you to journal every day. But before I get to it, let me quickly look at Yes, so Fumi's point here, she says, I affirm myself, though it's not something I do consciously every day. I do daily. Um, I would love to encourage you to consciously do it daily, even if it takes you 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes every single day. If it takes you just 2 to 3 minutes every single day to have some carefully worded affirmations, stuff about how you are this, you are that, you are special, you are wonderful, you are here for a purpose. I spoke about the fact that irrespective of your religious beliefs, just the science of the fact that everybody's fingerprint is different, and we're more than 6 billion people in the entire universe, well, on the earth, right? It shows that each person is special. Just an affirmation to yourself daily that I am unique, I'm here for a unique purpose is enough. So 2 to 3 minutes of carefully crafted affirmations to yourself every day. For me, you could actually put a reminder on your phone that is like an alarm every single day, and you take those 2 to 3 minutes to affirm yourself. Try it for a week and let me know. I would really, really love to know what your feedback is. Try it for a week and let me know. Okay. It also helps for people that may have this emotional crisis. An example which I had used earlier on was body dysmorphic disorders, where people have body image issues, challenges with how they see themselves physically, right? If you are able to find, seek, open up to, and affirm a higher truth about how you really are beautiful inside and out, irrespective of what you see on the outside, and you take that 1 minute of affirmation every day as a discipline, you will see how much it affects what you do believe. It's called neuro-linguistic programming, and it's the power of words to affect the way we think, right? I mean, you may have heard of this saying, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But also it's like a cycle, because your words can affect your thoughts, which affects your behavior and patterns, which also now affect your words. But you can grab it at the source, which is the words, which you have absolute and control power over. And so you say the right things to yourself. Take it like a drug. Imagine it's like pills that you need to get through the day with, or you can't get through the day without. Consciously and continuously and regularly affirm those words to yourself daily. Okay, so we are on the seventh point, which is to journal every day. Yes, it is an important exercise, and it does not have to take you any more than 5 minutes. It's a process of writing down in a private notebook. It could be things that happen to you in the day. It could be affirmations that you are writing back to yourself. It could be your plans and thoughts for the future. But the point of it is, but the most important thing is that you are writing every day. It could be half a page, it could be a sentence, it could be 2 pages. Journal every day and actually make a practice of putting the dates right before you start writing whatever you need to write. Another way of, or another thing you can journal is it could be a gratitude journal. You can do that because gratitude has a way of opening you up to more possibilities. It helps you see the good rather than the things that may not be working in your life. And so I want to encourage all of us. It's the seventh point. Journaling for some people is a way of easing tension, releasing their emotions, and letting it all out. You could use it for that. You could use it as a gratitude system, that is to thank God for something, anything that happened to you in the day, to thank God, to thank your maker for anything that happened to you in the day, or anything that someone else experienced, whatever it is that you are thankful for in the day. But just the point is, make sure you do it every day. It's a practice, it is a discipline, and it is worth it. The eighth thing I would now say is for you to dig deeper. If you feel like you are doing all these 7 things and you still feel like you're on the brink of an emotional crisis, remember that we defined an emotional crisis as a mental or psychological state of imbalance where you feel an overwhelm of emotions on the negative side. It could even actually be on the positive side, that's like an excess, because some people experience hyperactivity they or and sometimes they experience what is called the bipolar disorder. One minute they are completely happy, it's like they've taken on all the joys of the world. On other times, like a dip, sudden or progressive, they now look like they've taken on all the sadness of the world. That's one of those emotional disorders, bipolar disorders. But my point is, if you feel like you have done all these things, I really doubt it though, but if you've done all these things, you have taken all these steps 1 to 7, and you still feel like you're on the brink of an emotional crisis, then it's time to dig deeper. There could be a past trauma that you have experienced that you have not been able to get rid of or work out. It's time to dig deeper. You may need to ask yourself things that may have happened to you in the past, words that have been said to you, any form of abuse that you may have experienced. It could be physical, mental, sexual, emotional. You may have experienced some form of trauma or abuse. You may have been witness to something. Some people witness shootings and killings and they are never the same again. Some people witness their mother and father having sex, and that can be traumatic for them. Some people witness a rape, some people witness a fighting, a killing. It could be something you saw, maybe not something that happened to you. It is still traumatic, and it's very important for you to dig deeper to find. Hi Larry, thank you so much for joining. Hi everyone that has just joined. I really encourage us to catch the replay. It's available on Facebook for the next 200 years, but it is available on Instagram for the next 24 hours because we have gone far. So I was saying dig deeper. That's the 8th point. You may need to think back and figure out if there's any past trauma that you've experienced in your life, whether you've experienced it or you may have seen it or witnessed it happen. The 9th and final point is to seek professional help. So all these points 1 to 8 are like your self-help remedies, but you may need to seek professional help from a psychologist, a psychotherapist, a counselor, or a coach. It's extremely important for you to know when you cannot help yourself. You've done all these points, or you are doing all these points over, say, a 3-month, 90-day period, and it's still not working. You feel like you're on the brink of an emotional crisis, then it is time for you to seek professional help. There is a directory of psychotherapists and psychological clinics and mental health institutions. You need to seek professional help. I wouldn't be able to end the session or end what I'm saying unless I talk about how to help others that may be in an emotional crisis. Yes, you may spot some signs, some telltale signs that someone, your friend or a loved one or a family member, is going through something, is experiencing some form of emotional crisis. And how do you help? How do you help? So the first thing I would even say is for you to spot the signs. What are those signs, or what could be, or what examples of signs, or what are some examples of signs of someone, or maybe even you, going through an emotional crisis? The number one would be neglect of personal hygiene. When the person just doesn't care about how their hair looks, about how their feet smell, whether or not they brushed their teeth in 3 days, something must be going on. So we're talking about a fully grown adult, right? So neglect of personal hygiene. The second thing would be a dramatic change in sleep habits. Maybe the person stops sleeping or is not able to get any sleep. A night, 2 nights continuously, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's becoming more and more and it's becoming prolonged. That dramatic change in a sleep habit could be a sign of an emotional crisis. The person could sleep too much. That is also, I mean, a dramatic change. The person sits down on the couch and sleeps all day and all night, and this goes on for an extended period. Yeah, for sure. You definitely need to spot that sign. Another sign could be an extreme weight gain or extreme weight loss. I mean, I know that we are all, well, I shouldn't say all, some of us and most of us are really trying to be fit, stay fit, lose some pounds in order to maintain good physical health. One of those signs, one of those ways I said of avoiding emotional crisis, right? But when the weight gain or weight loss is sudden, it's extreme, sudden and extreme. That's the combination, sudden and extreme, because maybe they are eating way too much or they are eating way too little. That will cause extreme weight gain or weight loss. So remember that the operative words for this is extreme and sudden, right? So don't just go to someone and say, you've lost weight. Are you going through an emotional crisis? The person may have planned to lose weight. The person may be on some fit farm kind of diet, and is doing their best, maybe a 21-day extreme fix, whatever the case may be. But remember, sudden and extreme weight gain or weight loss. Another sign of emotional crisis would be a decline in performance at work or at school. Yeah, a declined performance at work or at school. You find that the person is not interested in activities, the person does not want to go to school or does not is not interested in doing well in school. That could be a sign, one of the signs, So I've given you at least 5 signs now. Another one could be a pronounced change in mood. The person is always having mood swings over a consistent period of time. So this is assuming that this person is close to you. You are able to observe the person closely and over time, so you're able to spot these signs. I think the last sign I would give to you would be withdrawal from routine activities and relationships. The person doesn't want to do what they normally would do, doesn't wake up or stand up, brush their teeth, do stuff, go to work, go to school, that kind of thing. It's extremely important for you to be observant to people around you, and even you can use these signs to observe yourself to know whether or not you may be experiencing an emotional crisis. Thank you for joining. Okay, so as I said, to help someone in a crisis, you first have to spot the signs, and I've given six major signs of emotional crisis. Thank you so much for joining the Olurotimis. Yeah, so the first, as I said, is to spot the signs, and I've given 6 signs. The second is to lend an ear. So you're asking the person intimately, respectfully, and out of care and concern. Your approach really matters, to ask what's wrong, what's going on. I noticed this and this. You have to be sure to mention the signs that you notice so that the person doesn't think, why are you all up in my grill? Why are you just, why are you being forward, or why are you just assuming things? So you say, oh, I have noticed maybe you have not been taking care of yourself. I've noticed that there has been a decline in your performance at school or at work, or I've noticed an extreme and sudden weight loss or weight gain. Now, my point is, you spotted the sign, you lend an ear, you are asking lovingly, respectfully, in a way that shows that you actually care about this person's well-being. You want to know what's wrong. These are the signs that I've observed. What is going on? with you, depending on the kind of answer that you receive, whether it's an answer that is open, whether it's an answer that, is willing, the person is willing to share with you what they're going through. You could help the person, be that person's accountability partner. You could also now help them to go further to seek professional help. I am done, but I will do a very brief recap for everyone that may have joined that may not have been there from the very beginning. We spoke about that today's topic is avoiding emotional crisis. We said that an emotional crisis is an overwhelm of emotions in a negative light, an overwhelm or an excess of emotions in a negative light. It is a state of mental and psychological imbalance. Various examples of emotional crisis, it could be depression, that is situational depression, not clinical or medical depression. And so depression, anxiety, eating disorders, sleep disorders, panic attacks, compulsive and self-sabotaging behaviors, body dysmorphic behavior, disorder. We said that is an extreme case. So there are various examples of emotional disorders that lead to a crisis, right? And we listed 9 ways of avoiding emotional crisis. Number one, which is the foundation, and I've always said it, and I will continue to say it in every one of our lives, is keen mindfulness and self-awareness. You must be alert. The second thing is to resist isolation and secrecy. The third thing is to rise higher than your 7-year-old self. Attempt and practice self-control and maturity. The fourth thing is embrace accountability. Look for somebody that you respect, that has a right to speak into your life, and be accountable to them. The fifth thing is to seek, open up, and affirm a higher truth daily. Pick up and create well-crafted affirmations or confessions, even if it's for 2 to 5 minutes, but do it every day. Say it back to yourself every day. The sixth point is to maintain good physical health. We said that it is a factor in helping you maintain good emotional health and helping you avoid an emotional crisis. So eating well, sleeping well, engaging in a good amount of exercise daily, or physical activity, those help to maintain good physical health. The number 7 point is to journal every day, even if it is for 1 minute a day. You could journal by being thankful every day, or write things that happen to you every day, or your thoughts on the future. The point is, write out, express your thoughts on paper in a private notebook every day. Number 8 point is to dig deeper. If you've done points 1 to 7 over a course of 90 days, that is 3 months, and you still feel like you're on the brink of an emotional crisis, then dig deeper. There may be something in your past, a trauma that you've experienced, something that is causing or is rising to the surface that needs to be dealt with. That will lead to the 9th and final point, which is to seek professional help. I am done. I'm looking forward to any questions that may arise. If I don't get questions within the next 30 seconds to a minute, then we know that we are done. Deliberately, this live session will be over within the next 2 to 3 minutes. It's 45 minutes. We don't want people to be weary or tired, but to take the nuggets and to actually act on them. And I'm looking forward to feedback on the session, especially on the points that you can practicalize, mindfulness, not being isolated, opening up to people, finding someone to be accountable to, practicing some form of self-control, deliberate, intentional, practicing, experimenting with yourself and saying, can I not eat? Can I, maybe food is trying to control my life, can I not eat for till 6 o'clock, do a fast, do a social media fast, do a sleep fast, whatever the case may be. Just trying to practice your self-control muscle, exercising your self-control muscle, growing stronger and stronger. That helps you rise above your 7-year-old self. Okay, 30 more seconds, and we have, I'm sorry guys, sorry about that. 30 more seconds. If we do not have any questions, I would be saying goodbye and thanking you all for joining.